A lone soldier discovers a badly injured chained German shepherd in the middle of the woods. What he does next is shocking. The moments that follow will melt your heart. This true story of loyalty, love, and sacrifice will change the way you view the relationship between humans and dogs forever. Amidst a dense, mist-shrouded forest, where the only light comes from the occasional rays of sunlight filtering through the towering canopy, a deep silence reigns, broken only by the gentle patter of rain on the broad emerald leaves. Amidst this eerie silence, the steady thud of heavy boots echoes in humid air. Sergeant James Carter steps into view, his face etched with the pain of lost battles and memories too painful to forget. Each step he takes is purposeful, his eyes scanning the dark reaches of the wilderness, as if seeking solace in the embrace of nature, a refuge from the relentless torment of the past. In this tense atmosphere, the narrative pauses, holding its breath, before a sudden discovery shatters the silence. Chained to a weathered tree, its fur matted and its eyes reflecting a deep, unspeakable pain, lay a wounded German shepherd. The sight was both heartbreaking and surreal, drawing James into an emotional whirlwind that merged past and present in an instant. The juxtaposition was striking. The soldier, hardened by loss and battle, met the vulnerable gaze of a creature that had endured unspeakable cruelty. The atmosphere pulsed with raw intensity, as if each raindrop carried a whisper of forgotten sorrow and the promise of redemption. In that moment, the forest became a living canvas, one that told a story of profound resilience and the eternal struggle between despair and hope. This was more than a chance encounter. It was the catalyst for a journey that would test the limits of human courage and redefine the meaning of loyalty. As the scene fades into the pounding rhythm of nature, the audience is drawn into a story where every sound, every shadow, and every heartbeat speaks of a legacy of love and sacrifice, a cinematic tale that will leave hearts trembling and spirits soaring. The story begins in the heart of a dense, humid jungle, where the relentless patter of rain on lush, green leaves creates a hauntingly beautiful symphony. In this eerie silence, punctuated only by the soft whispers of nature, Sergeant James Carter strides into view. His every step is heavy, his boots sinking deep into the muddy earth, a physical reminder of the burden he carries within. The camera captures the slow, deliberate progress of a man haunted by memories and weighed down by loss. As the scene unfolds, the jungle reveals its secrets. The mist clings to the twisted vines and ancient trees, and droplets of water shimmer in the sparse beams of light that break through the dense canopy. It is here, amid the raw, untouched wilderness, that fate takes an unexpected turn. Hidden in a small, secluded clearing, chained to a gnarled, towering tree, lies an injured German shepherd. The dog's matted fur and pained, soulful eyes tell a story of suffering and neglect, a stark contrast to the wild beauty surrounding it. For a brief, suspended moment, time seems to slow down. The sight of the chained, battered animal stops Sergeant Carter in his tracks. His heart, already scarred by the ghosts of battles past and the profound loss of his closest comrades, beats a little faster as he contemplates the injustice before him. The juxtaposition of the soldier's hardened exterior and the vulnerable, pleading gaze of the creature sets the stage for a narrative woven with threads of loyalty, love, and sacrifice. This initial moment is more than a mere discovery. It is a turning point, a convergence of destinies. The jungle, with all its natural splendor and lurking mysteries, becomes the silent witness to the unfolding drama. It is in this charged atmosphere that the true essence of the story is revealed, a tale of redemption and hope, where every raindrop and every shadow speaks of resilience and the unbreakable bond between a man and his canine companion. As the opening sequence draws to a close, viewers are left with a profound sense of anticipation. The stage is set for an emotional journey that promises to delve deep into the heart of human suffering and the extraordinary power of compassion, a journey where the actions of one soldier could forever alter the course of two lives. As the rain continues to fall and the lush canopy drips with the weight of memories, Sergeant James Carter moves deeper into the jungle, seeking refuge from the haunting ghosts of his past. Every step he takes is laden with a painful weight of loss, his mind echoing with the voices of those he once held dear. The jungle, with its dense foliage and hidden corners, becomes a sanctuary where James can momentarily escape the relentless torment of memories. In the dim light that filters through the towering trees, his thoughts drift back to that fateful day, 3 years ago, when an ambush claimed the lives of his best friend, Corporal Mike, and his loyal canine partner, Axel. Their faces, etched in his memory, emerge like phantoms in the murk of his thoughts. Each drop of rain mirrors a tear, blending with the raw pain of betrayal by fate. The harsh sounds of gunfire and the anguished cries of his fallen comrades resonate in his mind, leaving an indelible scar that time has not healed. Haunted by the loss, James retreated from the battlefield, choosing the solitude of the jungle over the relentless reminders of his past. Here, in the embrace of nature, he could feel the quiet pulse of life, untainted by the echoes of warfare. The wilderness offered him a space to mourn, to remember, and, in a strange way, to find solace in its relentless cycle of renewal. Amid the rustling leaves and the symphony of nature's whispers, he sought to bury the sorrow that had become a part of him, a sorrow that urged him to retreat into the shadows of the forest, far from the cruel light of memory. In this solemn march through the undergrowth, each step is a silent tribute to the comrades he lost and a desperate attempt to outrun the lingering specters of pain. The jungle, both a refuge and a mirror to his inner turmoil, holds the promise of healing even as it reminds him of the scars that time cannot erase. As Sergeant James Carter pushes deeper into the heart of the jungle, the sounds of nature merge into a mysterious symphony, the distant call of a bird, the rustle of leaves, and the steady drip of rainwater echoing against the underbrush. Suddenly, amid this natural orchestra, a faint whimper slices through the ambient noise, a sound so fragile it almost seems like a ghost from a past. James halts, his senses sharpening. His military training takes over as he scans the surroundings, following that desperate cry. Winding through the thick tangle of vines and foliage, he soon stumbles upon a small clearing where the jungle's shadows part just enough to reveal a chilling sight. Chained to a massive ancient tree, lying in a disheveled heap of pain and neglect, is a wounded German shepherd. The dog's fur is matted with dirt and rain, its body bearing the unmistakable marks of brutal abuse. But what strikes James most is the familiar glint of a dog tag dangling from the injured animal's collar, a silent, poignant reminder of Axel, his long-lost canine partner. Time seems to suspend for a moment as the realization dawns on him. The sight of the battered canine, struggling against the oppressive chains, ignites a torrent of emotions within James. The dog's eyes, though dulled by exhaustion and fear, still flicker with a resilient spark, a spark that whispers tales of survival and shared battles. As he steps closer, the sound of its labored breathing and the faint whine of pain weave together a narrative of suffering and endurance, drawing him into a bond that transcends the scars of the past. In that heart-stopping moment, the jungle seems to hold its breath. Every detail, the glistening chains, the drooping ears, the soft yet urgent pleas for help, melds into a defining instant of fate. With his heart pounding and a surge of determination, James kneels in the muddy clearing. His eyes lock with those of the wounded soldier before him, and he knows that this encounter is not merely a chance meeting, but the turning point in a story steeped in loyalty, loss, and the promise of redemption. In the quiet aftermath of the initial shock, as the rain continues its steady descent and the jungle seems to whisper its ancient secrets, James is suddenly overwhelmed by a rush of memories. Standing over the wounded canine, every heartbeat triggers a cascade of recollections that transport him back to the brutal ambush 3 years ago. The scene unfolds in his mind with vivid clarity, the deafening sound of gunfire, the frantic shouts, and the palpable terror of a battle lost not only in body but in spirit. As the camera of his memory pans across the chaotic battlefield, he sees the faces of those he once fought beside, especially Corporal Mike and his loyal canine partner Axel, whose fates were sealed in that harrowing moment. The pain of that loss pierces through him like the icy sting of the jungle rain. Every scar on the recovered Axel, now visible before him, echoes the systematic abuse and cruelty that the creature had endured. These marks are not merely physical wounds. They are the remnants of a violent past that refuse to let go. James's eyes fill with tears as he recalls the desperate struggle to save his comrades, the futile attempts to hold back the tide of violence, and the crushing weight of guilt that has haunted him ever since. In that moment, the wounded dog becomes a living symbol of all he has lost, a mirror reflecting the sorrow, betrayal, and heartache of a life marred by conflict. The scars on the animal's body tell stories of pain inflicted by unseen hands, and each mark fuels his determination to bring justice and healing, not just for the creature before him, but for his own shattered soul. The atmosphere is thick with emotion as the jungle around them seems to pause, bearing silent witness to this poignant convergence of past and present. In the dim light filtering through the foliage, the boundaries between memory and reality blur, leaving James caught in a vortex of regret and hope. With every breath, the echoes of that fateful day reverberate through him, urging him to find redemption in the act of saving another life, a chance to mend the deep fissures of his own heart while restoring the dignity of a creature once left for dead. This powerful moment of recollection not only cements his resolve, but also sets the stage for the next phase of his journey, a quest for answers, for justice, and for the ultimate reconciliation of a man and the memories that have defined his existence. As James carefully tends to the wounded German shepherd, now tentatively identified as Axel, a subtle unease begins to permeate the humid air of the jungle. The creature's behavior, normally subdued by pain and exhaustion, shifts suddenly. Its ears perk up, and its eyes scan the dense foliage with an intensity that speaks of instinctual alertness. In that charged moment, a faint rustling in the underbrush, barely audible over the steady drumming of rain, hints at a presence lurking just beyond the clearing. The atmosphere thickens with tension as James senses that he is not alone. Every snap of a twig and every rustle of leaves becomes a potential harbinger of danger. Axel, despite his injuries, reacts with a surprising urgency. His body tenses, and he lets out a low, cautious growl, a primal warning that resonates deeply with the soldier's own instinct honed over years of combat. James's hand instinctively moves to his sidearm, the weight of his training and the gravity of his past experiences converging in his heightened awareness of the threat. He scans the darkened periphery, eyes darting through the shadowy silhouettes of towering trees and tangled vines, each movement a reminder that in this jungle, danger could be hiding in every corner. The subtle shifts in Axel's behavior, a flicker of the tail, a change in posture, serve as silent alarms, urging James to be on constant guard. There is an unspoken communication between man and animal. Axel's alertness is not just a response to his own suffering, but a reflection of a deeper, collective memory of the horrors that once unfolded in this unforgiving terrain. As the moments stretch into a prolonged, breathless silence, the realization dawns on James that their discovery has not gone unnoticed. A hidden presence seems to stalk the fringes of the clearing, watching intently. The jungle, once a refuge from his inner torment, now transforms into a labyrinth of uncertainty and peril. Every rustle in the dark is a reminder that they are vulnerable, that the scars of past ambushes might have been just the beginning of a much larger, more sinister plot. With his heart pounding and senses sharpened, James tightens his grip on Axel, resolved to protect the wounded dog at all costs. The looming danger is palpable, a ghost of retribution, or perhaps an orchestrated ambush waiting to unfold. In this critical moment, the soldier's mind races through possible scenarios, each more harrowing than the last. The jungle's oppressive silence is now broken by the undercurrent of imminent threat, and the duo prepares to face an enemy that may be closer than they ever imagined. This heightened state of alert marks a pivotal transition in their journey, a move from the realm of personal grief and recovery into a battlefield where every shadow hides a secret, and every sound could signal the beginning of another fight for survival. Amid the oppressive gloom of the jungle, with danger still lurking in every rustle of leaves, Sergeant James Carter shifts his focus to the task at hand, freeing Axel from the cruel bonds that have held him captive for far too long. Despite the earlier surge of adrenaline and the omnipresent threat in the shadows, James's hands work methodically and compassionately. Each link of the cold, metal chains is examined, his fingers tracing the rust, and where that hint at both neglect and deliberate malice. The rhythmic sound of rain creates a steady backdrop as James carefully manipulates the lock on the chain. Every click and twist is laden with the weight of unspoken questions. How had Axel, once a stalwart companion, managed to survive the brutal ordeals inflicted upon him? The mystery of his endurance hangs in the humid air, a silent enigma that deepens with each moment that passes. With his heart pounding, James pauses to glance at Axel's weary eyes, which seem to harbor stories of resilience and unyielding willpower. As the final shackle falls away, the bond between man and dog grows palpable. In that brief, suspended moment, as the chains clatter softly to the ground, James's mind races with thoughts of the inexplicable survival. Was it mere chance, or was there something more at play, a secret force that had guided Axel through the darkest hours of torment? The questions remain unanswered, lingering in the charged atmosphere of the clearing. Despite the physical and emotional adversities that have defined his journey, James is determined. His deliberate actions are fueled by a blend of professional duty and personal redemption. The act of liberating Axel is not just about breaking metal links. It is a symbolic severing of the past's cruel grip. As the rain intensifies, washing away remnants of the chains, it also seems to cleanse a part of the soul, a quiet promise that, even in a world shrouded by mystery and peril, hope can still be found. With Axel now free, though still trembling from exhaustion and pain, James offers a reassuring touch, a silent vow that their shared journey is far from over. Together, they stand at the threshold of a new chapter, where the mysteries of survival intertwine with the relentless pursuit of justice and healing. As the rain subsides into a rhythmic drizzle, and the jungle seems to breathe a sigh of relief, James's keen eyes catch a series of subtle yet unsettling details scattered around the clearing. While combing through remnants of the ambush scene, he notices a series of cryptic markings etched into the rough bark of an ancient tree. These aren't random scratches but appear to be coordinates, meticulously carved as if to serve as a hidden message or a secret meeting point. The realization sends a chill down his spine. In the murky twilight of the jungle, James stumbles upon a discarded piece of equipment, a weathered, almost forgotten military radio with a single, blinking light. The device, its frequency static yet strangely deliberate, hints at clandestine communications that were active during the ambush. Was this a mere remnant of chaos, or a breadcrumb left intentionally to point toward a larger, more sinister plot? As he gathers these fragments of evidence, James begins to connect the dots. The systematic abuse inflicted on Axel wasn't an isolated act of cruelty, but rather a deliberate, orchestrated maneuver that mirrors the strategic precision of the ambush he once endured. Each clue, the carved coordinates, the abandoned radio, and even the peculiar positioning of broken equipment, suggests that the attack may have been premeditated, a coldly calculated move by a hidden hand. Haunted by memories of that fateful day, and driven by a deep, burning need for answers, James's suspicion evolves into a determined quest for the truth. The clues whisper of a conspiracy that reaches far beyond the immediate battlefield, a web of deceit involving powerful figures who orchestrated the ambush to cover up their own misdeeds. With every piece of evidence he uncovers, the jungle transforms from a sanctuary of sorrow into a cryptic archive of secrets waiting to be revealed. Now, amidst the murmur of the damp leaves and the fading echoes of distant thunder, James realizes that his mission has grown exponentially. It is no longer just about rescuing a wounded canine partner. It is about exposing a dark conspiracy that may have altered the course of his life and the fate of countless others. The jungle, in its silent and mysterious way, seems to beckon him deeper into its hidden corridors of truth, promising danger, betrayal, and potential for redemption in equal measure. As dusk begins to settle, the tension in the jungle reaches its breaking point. The once silent woods now vibrate with the sound of distant footsteps and the sinister rustle of leaves, signs that the pursuers have closed in. With the evidence of a vast conspiracy weighing heavily on his mind, James realizes that staying put is no longer an option. Every instinct honed by years of combat urges him to move, and he quickly signals to Axel that it's time to run. In a split-second decision, James reaches into his pocket and retrieves an emergency flare. With a steady hand, he ignites the flare, and its blazing light slices through the gathering darkness, creating a temporary yet brilliant distraction. The flare's intense glow disorients the advancing enemy, sending shockwaves of confusion rippling through the foliage. The chaos it stirs up is exactly what James needs, an opportunity to make his escape. Grabbing Axel by the collar, he dashes into the tangled maze of the jungle. The sound of crashing underbrush, frantic shouts, and the relentless pounding of heavy boots blend into a symphony of pursuit behind them. Every step is a desperate bid for freedom as James maneuvers through narrow paths and overgrown trails, the flare's light receding into the distance behind him. The adrenaline surges through his veins, merging with a fierce determination to survive and expose the dark truths hidden within this perilous terrain. With Axel at his side, every twist and turn of the jungle becomes a potential lifeline. The duo weaves through nature's obstacles, a fallen log here, a narrow gap between ancient trees there, each move choreographed by instinct and the raw urgency of the moment. In the midst of this frenetic escape, the flare continues to burn, a beacon of defiance against the oppressive night. It not only diverts the enemy's attention, but also ignites a spark of hope within James, a hope that even in the face of relentless pursuit, there remains a chance to unearth the secrets that have haunted him for so long. The chase intensifies, with every heartbeat echoing the rhythm of their desperate flight. Shadows stretch and merge as the enemy draws nearer, yet the brilliant flare cuts a swath of light, providing a temporary sanctuary in the darkness. In this fleeting moment, the jungle transforms into a battleground where survival depends on the swift interplay between courage and ingenuity. The distance between them and their pursuers begins to widen. James and Axel press on, their escape a vivid testament to the unyielding spirit of those who refuse to be ensnared by the shadows of their past. The dramatic escape is not just a physical flight, It is a bold declaration that, no matter how formidable the forces aligned against them, hope and the truth will always find a way to break free. As dawn creeps over the horizon, the jungle transforms into a labyrinth of secrets waiting to be unraveled. In the midst of their frantic escape, James and Axel find a temporary haven in a secluded glen, where the remnants of chaos begin to paint a broader, more sinister picture. Amidst the fallen debris and the scattered remnants of abandoned equipment, a series of cryptic clues come into focus. James's trained eyes notice something peculiar, a weathered map partially hidden under a shattered piece of military gear. Scribbled coordinates, barely visible beneath layers of grime, hint at a location far from the familiar paths of the jungle. Beside it lies a small, charred notebook, its pages filled with hastily scrawled notes and symbols that suggest a deliberate pattern. Each mark seems to correspond with the systematic abuse Axel suffered, pointing to a larger network of planned cruelty and subterfuge. Intrigued and increasingly determined, James combs through the evidence. He uncovers a series of coordinates etched into the bark of an ancient tree, almost as if the very forest is reluctant to let go of its secrets. These markings, when aligned with the notes from the notebook, reveal a trail leading to what appears to be a hidden facility, an outpost that operates under the veil of darkness and secrecy. The evidence implies that this facility is more than just a place. It is the epicenter of a vast conspiracy, linked to high-level figures who orchestrated the ambush and the systematic torment inflicted on soldiers and canine partners alike. Each new discovery deepens the mystery. A discarded piece of encrypted communication equipment and a series of incongruous military orders, left behind in the haste of retreat, suggest that the ambush was not a random act of violence but a meticulously orchestrated operation. The clues indicate that powerful individuals, concealed behind layers of bureaucracy and military protocol, have been pulling the strings all along. In the quiet moments of this unsettling revelation, the jungle around James seems to pulse with hidden life, as though nature itself is a silent witness to the unfolding treachery. The stolen fragments of information fuel a burning resolve in him, not only to escape the immediate danger, but to expose the labyrinth of deceit that has ensnared him. With every piece of evidence he gathers, the lines between friend and foe blur, and the mission takes on a new, more dangerous significance. James's mind races with questions. Who were the architects of this intricate web of conspiracies? What unspeakable acts have they sanctioned behind closed doors? And most importantly, how far does their influence reach? As he pieces together the scattered remnants of clues, the hidden facility emerges not just as a physical location, but as a symbol of the corruption and betrayal that have haunted his past and continue to threaten the present. In this pivotal phase of his journey, every discovery is a double-edged sword, offering both the promise of truth and the peril of confronting an enemy far more formidable than he ever imagined. The jungle, with its deceptive tranquility, now harbors the echoes of clandestine operations and the weight of long-buried secrets. As James prepares to follow the trail, his heart beats with the intensity of someone who knows that uncovering this conspiracy could be the key to not only redeeming his own shattered spirit, but also to delivering justice to countless others who have suffered in silence. In the thick of the jungle's oppressive darkness, where every rustle and distant sound once hinted at lurking threats, the atmosphere suddenly shifts into a frenetic battleground. As night fully descends, a fierce confrontation erupts. The clearing, once a secret haven for hidden clues, transforms into the stage for an epic showdown. Armed adversaries, cloaked in the shadows of their covert mission, emerge from the underbrush. Their silhouettes, illuminated briefly by flashes of tactical gear and staccato bursts of gunfire, signal the arrival of forces determined to keep the conspiracy buried. Amid the chaos, James, worn yet resolute, stands shoulder to shoulder with his newfound allies, including a cadre of military working dogs that had been freed in the earlier scuffle. These canine warriors, their eyes sharp with determination and loyalty, join the fray, their barks and coordinated movements adding an almost primal rhythm to the unfolding battle. The sound of conflict, a cacophony of gunshots, shouts, and the resolute thudding of boots, merges with the ambient pulse of the jungle, as if nature itself is bearing witness to this moment of reckoning. In the heart of the melee, James finds himself locked in a desperate struggle. Every move is calculated, a blend of instinct and hard-won experience. The adrenaline surges as he deflects incoming fire and maneuvers through the undergrowth, his eyes scanning for both danger and an opportunity. The battle is not just physical. It is a contest of wills, where the stakes are nothing less than the exposure of a dark, systemic corruption that has long haunted him. Amid the tumult, Fragments of evidence that he had painstakingly gathered earlier begin to surface, carried by the chaos and exposed to the scrutiny of the world beyond the jungle. As the confrontation reaches its apex, a turning point emerges. In a moment of fierce clarity, an enemy commander's cryptic orders and secret documents are intercepted, their contents laying bare the extent of the conspiracy. With the truth now splashed across screens and disseminated through the flurry of digital communications, the hidden machinations that orchestrated the ambush and subsequent torment are thrust into the light. The revelation reverberates like a shockwave, rekindling James's purpose and igniting a fire of redemption that he had long thought extinguished. In the midst of the tumult, a powerful symbolic reunion takes place. As the dust settles and the echoes of combat begin to fade, James turns to see Axel no longer just a wounded and abused soldier's companion, but now a symbol of hope, resilience, and renewal standing before him. The once troubled eyes of Axel now shine with a spark of survival and determination. In that poignant moment, man and dog reconnect, their shared bond a testament to the enduring power of loyalty and the possibility of healing even the deepest of scars. The climactic finale is more than a victory over adversaries. It is the unmasking of corruption and the triumph of truth. With the enemy forces retreating into the darkness and the exposed conspiracy sending ripples far beyond the jungle, James and Axel emerge as beacons of hope and redemption. Their journey, fraught with peril and marked by loss, finds its ultimate meaning in the unity of purpose and the undeniable spirit of those who refuse to be silenced by injustice. As the final echoes of the battle fade, the jungle, once a silent witness to suffering, now stands as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of redemption.